Hello, everyone. Welcome to my green card stories. On this channel, I'll be interviewing different people that have applied for green card under the National Interest Waiver, Employment Base 2, and also under other categories. So please subscribe to this channel and like and comment on each of the video. So the first person that will be interviewing on this channel is Olanike.
Drum roll.
Nika came to the US over 6 years ago to get a PhD in the US, and it was during her PhD that she decided to file for a green card under the National Interest Waiver Employment Base 2. So in today's episode, Nika will be sharing with us her journey and how she was able to scale through all hurdles to get a green card. So Olanike, welcome to my channel.
Thank you, Babola. I am excited. I am happy to be the first person on your channel. Like you said, my name is Olanike. And I actually came to the United States in 2015 after my bachelor's in agronomy and my master's in agronomy in Nigeria. So I came for a PhD in plant pathology in my, I'd say, in my official third year or fourth year of PhD. I put in my application for green card, and yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much. So the first question that I actually wanted to ask you was to introduce yourself, but because you have already done that, I'll move to the next question. So you might see me looking sideways is because I have a second monitor beside me. Yeah. So the second question, when did you decide to apply for green card?
Okay, so like I said earlier, I came to the United States in 2015, and I got married that same year. And I decided to apply for US green card when I knew that I was going to bring my family down to the United States, my new family being my husband. So I decided to apply for the green card then, because although it could come under F2, which is my dependent, he needed something that would allow him to walk and live freely in the US without conditions that the F2 brings. So that was what actually made me to make the decision to apply for a green card.
Okay, thank you so much. Next, I'm going to ask you, how did you hear about EB2 NIW category?
Actually, funny enough, I heard about this category from my friend who wasn't applying using this approach. He wasn't applying under this category, but he knew other people that were doing PhD and publishing papers in a school, and he knew them, and they were applying through this category, this EB2 category. So he was the one that told me, like my first year of PhD or second year, that I should publish papers that is going to help me to apply under this category. So he was the first person that told me about this EB2 NIW category. Then in 2018, a friend of hers, Obola, actually went through the whole process. And so that was the second person that kind of introduced us to the A to Z of this category of applying for green card in the US.
Okay, by the way, for the viewers, my name is Babola, so she's actually referring to me. Okay, so can you shed more light about EB2 NIW? What does it mean? Can you tell us more about it?
Okay, so I would say,
your own understanding.
Yeah, based on my understanding, there are different categories of national interest waiver applications. I believe there are EB1 to 4 or 5, I don't know. But for EB2 itself, employer-based to national interest waiver, it means somebody who has an advanced degree has a lot of application, or is or our work has a lot of application in the United States, meaning it has national interest.
Okay.
So if you have advanced degree, if you have a lot of award in a particular field or discipline, like we call it, and you feel that discipline itself has national interest, meaning it has importance. The United States considers that field of study very important. That is a category that is called, that's the category EB2 NIW, in my understanding.
Okay, so why didn't you file for green card under EB1 or EB3? Why did you decide to settle for EB2?
Okay, so like I said I have a bachelor's, I have a master's degree, and today I have a PhD. So I have a field of study that my impact is known internationally. So that was agriculture. So I have not just a bachelor's, but an advanced degree, which is master's. And I was pursuing a higher and another advanced degree at that time. So I felt that that was the right category for me, because I already had international awards, you know, in this field of study. And I knew that the future in the United States for agriculture was huge, and they were paying a lot of attention to it. So I felt that that was the right category for me, where I could show my advanced degree and my exceptional ability, because it's not everybody that knows about agriculture. Of course, it's not everybody that has an advanced degree in it. So I felt that I had enough years of research, enough, I would say, just being out there as an agriculturist. And so that was what I really focused on, that made me believe that I could file under this category.
Okay, so just for clarification, you got you didn't get your master's degree in the US, right?
No, I got it in Nigeria before I came to the US.
Okay, so that leads to my next question. Are you required to have a PhD before you can file for green card or under the national interest waiver EB2?
So like I said, my educational background, even before I know about EB2 NIW, I already had an advanced degree in Nigeria. So you are not required to have a PhD, you know. So there are about 4 main boxes, or sorry, there are 5 boxes, of which you have to tick 3 of those boxes. So 1, you need to have an advanced degree. If you don't have an advanced degree, you need to have a bachelor's in that field that has importance to the United States, and 5 years of relevant, reasonable work experience in that field to show you're really advanced, you know. So you don't need to have a PhD. A master's qualifies as an advanced degree. So also, you need to show that you have a lot of awards, publications in that field. A lot of people know your work, or a lot of people can attest to what you've done in that field of study.
Okay, thank you so much. So so we're going to move to the next question. What made you believe you could self-petition? Can you shed more light on that?
Sincerely, I think what made me believe that I could self-petition and not have to save to employ a lawyer was because I had a friend who is Bobola, again,
that's me.
Yeah, the owner of this channel, who had done it successfully. And he knew the language they spoke to actually make a successful petition. Okay, so he already went ahead and did it. So I felt, yeah, if Bobola can do it, I can do it. So that's what really gave me the, I would say, the boost that I could do it. And I felt that I conveniently ticked those 3 boxes. At that time, I had, I'll say, a total of 2 publications. Is not a lot compared to other people, but I had 2 publications, one first authored, the other second author or something like that. I had a lot of international awards, and I was willing to get people that could testify to the work I'd done in that field of study, which is again agriculture. So I was willing to get a lot, I'll call them referees, like reference letters, people that could testify to my work. So I felt that if I, just leverage on Bobola's experience and present those things in the language, like I said, there's a language that they speak. You can't just write those things yourself. You need somebody to hold your hand. And Bobola was there. So that's what made me feel that I could self-petition, sincerely.
Okay, so you mentioned language. So so for the cover letter, do they judge your petition based on the grammar, based on your grammar in your cover letter, or based on the logic of your proposal or your argument? Do you have like an idea of how USCIS assess your petition, and especially your petition cover letter?
Okay, so I'll say the cover letter is a bulky material, a bulky document. Some people write cover letters like 20 pages, 30 pages. So you do not expect someone to read through all the 30 pages. I think they do read all through the 30 pages or whatever pages. But when you're writing, you want to be able to write so that each line conveys the message that your field of study has importance to the US. So how you are conveying that message is the language that I referred to. A lot of people are looking at grammar, structure, the way you arrange, what you put on top and stuff like that. That is really good. You want to be grammatically correct, but you also need to always go back to the main point that you are almost indispensable in the United States. If the United States has you as a permanent resident, they are really lucky, because you are bringing wealth of knowledge in that field that is really important to the survival of US citizens and the United States as a whole. So you need to keep that at the back of your mind and be speaking that language as you write. So you're talking about your teaching experience, you're talking about your educational background, you're talking about those hard words, you're talking about the future work you will do when you get to the United States or when you get your permanent residence. You're referring to how important that work or those things are to the United States. So that's the language, and it's very important. If you list all those things and you don't link it to how it is important to the United States, you're not writing yet. You're not writing the cover letter yet. So I feel that is very important, because a lot of people get an RFE, not because that's request for further evidence or more information, because they've written everything, but they didn't write it in such a way that the reader will understand that. So because I have A, I'm able to be B or Z to the United States. You need to make that link strong and convincing.
Okay, thank you so much. So the next question is, when after you have made up in your mind that you wanted to self-petition, what was the first step you took?
Okay, I think the first step we took, so I keep saying we, because although I am the main applicant, my husband was really like the supportive partner that I needed in the petition. He helps me to even remember the things I've forgotten that I've been awarded for. For example, I almost forgot that there was a publication in the newspaper about some of my work in Nigeria. He was the one that reminded me. So we walked through the whole process together. So the first thing that we did was we requested for Bobola's we requested for Bobola's list of documents. So that was the first thing we did. And he was gracious enough to share it with us. So when we got the list of documents, we knew where we were going. We knew what we had to get, you know. So it was about a list of 60 documents, you know, both the required USCIS documents and the you know, accompanying documents that we had to put to prove our case. So we asked for that list of documents that he already, you know, prepared, and he shared it with us. So we knew that we had to get 7 reference letters, for example. We knew that whenever we kind of reference anything in the cover letter, we have to include it when we are preparing the package. So, for example, when you're writing your cover letter, you want to say how important your research in agriculture is, and you know, you reference a particular document or a particular publication or statistics. You want to put it in that document. So we easily learned that, and from there we now move to trying to list the people that could be referees for me or could attest to the work I've done in the field of agriculture. So those were the first 2 steps.
Okay, good. So what document did you attach to your petition? Can you give us an example of like 3 documents that you attached to your petition?
I definitely attached I definitely attached the 2 publications I talked about, my own publications. Then I attached an evidence of my awards. Those I got in Nigeria and those I had got in the United States up to that point. Then I attached the really important one again that I attached was my
your CV.
Of course, my CV. Yeah. I mean, what I wanted to say was, apart from my CV, I think you definitely have to attach your CV. But what I wanted to say was the publications my husband found, like the Guardian newspaper, the Punch newspaper, where they had, you know, interviewed me and stuff like that. So. Okay,
good. So the next question is, how long did it take you to put your application together from time you start, from time you started putting each document together to the time you mail it out? How long did it take you?
For me, it took 6 to 8 months.
Wow.
Yes. So I made sure that I'd done my general exam. So if you're doing a PhD, there's something called general exam, which just means that you finished coursework and you just have a year to write your thesis, something like that. So general exam. So when I finished my general exam, I believe in September, I started in October. I started thinking about it mentally that, okay, let's have Bobola's list of documents. You know, when we got the list of documents, we told the people that were going to write me a reference letter in December. In December of 2019.
Okay.
Of 2019. So we told them that, oh, they'll be writing me a reference letter. I told about 7 people, 7 professors, past bosses in Nigeria, you know, also my mentor in Australia. So we told all of them that, oh, they will be writing me a reference letter. This is the nature of the reference letter. This is what it's meant for. And by I want to say March, all my reference letters were in. And we submitted the package on May 20, I believe. May 20 or May 30, one of those dates.
Okay. Can I ask you a quick question? How long did it take you to write the cover letter itself? Were you able to write it in maybe 2 days, 1 week, 1 month?
Nope.
How long?
Nope. I started writing my, cover letter in January. So the way I said it, in December, I told those people, the people that needed my CV said they needed my CV to be able to structure a good letter. You know, the people that needed to ask more questions, like, do they have to write it on letter-headed papers or they can just write it on plain papers? You know, questions were coming back and forth and I was responding to them. But the first letter didn't come until like end of January. The first person that gave me a letter, and that was when I started writing my cover letter. So the cover letter I started writing in January. I couldn't say I'd finished even in May when we decided to submit. Yes, because I like peer review. A lot of people saw my cover letter. You know, the first person that read my cover letter was Haba, another friend of mine, and he was like, this is not it. Yeah, this is not it. He was seeing it like you've not even done a good job, like if you weren't even submitting to file for a petition.
Yeah.
You understand? So he said no, that he still needed a lot of work. So I took like another 1 month. Remember, I was still doing my research and doing everything. So it wasn't easy. So I took like another month and other cover letters came in. So I could also add those ones and continue reviewing.
Other recommendation letters came in.
Yes, other recommendation letters came in and I could reference them in the cover letter. It became more readable and it took shape a little bit more with those reference letters. So I would conveniently think I used 4 months to write cover letter alone.
Wow, okay, that's good. Please, can you share your timeline from start to finish? Just be very brief about it.
I'll try. So my entire petition took 18 months. And it wouldn't have been that long if we didn't take a break in between. So if you're on this channel watching this interview, you might know that there are 2 phases of this old green card application. And we decided to take the 2 phases separately. So the first one is actually the I-140, and that's the main application, which I said we submitted our application May 2020. So from May 2020, we waited. It was just about 2 weeks. We already got a letter in the box that they got my application. So that was good news. We had a number, we had everything, it was fine. And the wait now began, right? So we started waiting. We had heard stories of people that it just took 2 months. We've heard stories of people that took 6 months. So we kept waiting. And when it was a year, okay, wow. When it was a year, we submitted. So May 19th, there is an app on my phone. I used to monitor my case. There's a USCIS case tracker app that some people out there have designed. And each time I check, but that day when I checked, May 19, there were, bubbles of congratulations. So it was like, congratulations, your case has been approved. And I'm like, oh, what's the year? So it was almost a year before we heard back from them. And so when they approved my I-140 without RFU, without anything, of course, we could go straight up to the next stage. But we took a break. So we took a break. So throughout 2021, we didn't do anything. So from May 2021 to December, we just relaxed for other reasons. So in December, May 2021, we sent in our change of status application, and we sent for myself and my husband, my dependent, and we put it together in the same envelope. We didn't know we're not supposed to do that. So they said they didn't get his own. So in January, we resubmitted. we resubmitted his own. So I'll just say December, January, we filed for our change of status. And they sent our EAD like March. Of course, they will tell you to go do your thumb printing and all those things, your medical history, they will tell you to go do all those things. But by March, we already had our EAD. That's your work card. We already had that. And by June, we had our green card. So with all the waits and all the stops in between, yeah, about 18 months.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So any challenge, I think you didn't mention going through any challenge.
I'll say ours was pretty smooth, except, you know, just patience. And when we sent the medical history, we weren't supposed to send it. They were supposed to ask us to send it. So we just jumped, you know, hearing from A and B, this is how you do it. So we just sent that form. I forgot what the name of that form is.
From 169. Okay. I 169.
Yeah, but your doctor is it's supposed to be confidential. And when USCIS asks you
to it's I-693. Don't know why I said 169. I-693.
So when USCIS asks you to send it, then you send it. But we sent that form when they didn't ask us to send it. Of course, they told us to send it again and we resent it. So that wasn't really a challenge, I'll say. It was fine. It was good.
Okay. So the next question is how did you feel when you got your green card?
I felt really good. The reason I felt really good was, if you remember where I started this story, I said I wanted to bring my family, which is my husband, to the United States, and I wanted him to be able to work and, you know, travel and have no restrictions. And the truth is, a lot of people, in other ways he could achieve that, like marriage, like use somebody's identification and all of that. So when that route we decided to take, which is the EB2 NIW, when it clicked, I was excited for both of us. I was really happy. There was no more like restriction. We could work wherever we wanted to work. It was exciting. It was surreal. I felt like, oh, is this real? So I was really happy. And I would say that I felt like at that point, it was one of the many prayers that God answered by God. Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good. So this is the last question I'm going to ask you. What are the privileges of having a green card? Can you share some of the things you have enjoyed since you got your green card?
Well, the thing I've enjoyed is when you're coming back into the United States, the officer will always tell you, welcome home. That statement is excited. Okay, so growing up, I wasn't really into like traveling out or anything. But as the situation has become that you can be a global citizen, and God actually encourages us to go and learn. Traveling is knowledge. I love to travel. So I love to travel. Since we got our green card, we've been to Canada, of course, we've been to Nigeria. And each time we return into the country, the officer will be like, welcome home. Like all those questions about, where are you going? What are you doing there? Are you in school? Did you miss any semester? Blah, blah, blah. They didn't ask all those questions. So that was really really good. That privilege of being able to travel in and out. Of course, you cannot stay more than a particular time each time you travel as a permanent resident, but you're able to travel and come in freely. Secondly, I got my dream job. So there's no way I could have got a dream job. I would have just had to stay in my field of study. Maybe I'm not well paid. I'm not saying people that don't have green card are not able to get their dream jobs. I'm just saying it really helped me in my
It's
own
made it easier.
Yes, to be able to apply to that company because I have a green card. So those two, I would say are the biggest privileges. Of course, I think as a green card holder, you can basically do anything a citizen can do except to vote and to go for offices like president and vice president. So you know what I'm saying when I say the privileges are limitless. So yeah.
Good. So thank you so much, Olanike. I really enjoyed this time talking to you and getting to know about your green card story. Yes. And I'd like to thank everyone that is watching this story. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you during the next episode. But please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like and comment. Also, if you want to get in contact with us, there will be an email at the description portion of this YouTube channel. So because, for example, myself and Olanike, we help people to write their petition cover letter and also some other things. So if you need someone to help you, to work with you to write your petition cover letter, please send us that email. See you later. Bye.
Bye.